Hey, I just wanted to touch on something, man. Little update, man. There was a crash out here in Texas, man, that killed 9 people and left two University of the Southwest golfers critically injured. Major accident out here, and man, there was a 13-year-old child driving. What's happened? Here's a little quick article, man. This is from CNN Digital. 13-year-old was behind the wheel in Texas crash that killed 9 people and left two University of the Southwest golfers critically injured. It was in Odessa, Texas, by the way. It's kind of out in the sticks. A 13-year-old child was behind the wheel of a pickup truck that involved a head-on collision in Texas that killed 9 people, including 6 University of the Southwest. I don't know why I can't talk. Southwest golfers and their coach. National Transportation Safety Board Vice Chairman Bruce Landsberg said on Thursday. It appears at this point in the investigation that the left front tire, which was a spare tire, had failed. Two survivors of a crash in West Texas that killed 9 people, including 6, remain hospitalized, and a dozen federal investigators headed to the scene. Survivors are recovering, making steady progress. One of the students is eating chicken soup. These are all just little, uh, snippets as to what had happened, man. But 6 students and a coach were in the van, were killed as a driver of a pickup truck and a 13-year-old passenger. But yeah, this is real. This is real random, and it's all a lot of whack and stuff, man. But apparently, a 13-year-old kid was driving on bad tires, nonetheless. So, hey, I mean, the culpability, bro. I can't even imagine whoever put that kid behind the wheel. Man, they could be facing involuntary manslaughter charges up the ass, bro. The kid's not going to get in no trouble, man. It's 13 years old. Even Texas probably not going to try the kid because they're only doing what an adult allowed them to do, man. But man, can you imagine that poor kid, you know, having to go through the fact that he killed and, inadvertently, you know what I mean? And it's a sad situation that there's not, me and Flacco talk about this shit all the time, man. In your home, you need to be a role model. You need to set an example. You need to be positive. We've all been in that life, all of us in this genre. You know what I mean? From Big Box, myself, Flocks, Gun, Dubs, Cricket, Sonny, Cholo Trucker, Paul, everybody, bro. Big Joe. We've all been in the life, man. And there's not one of us that will say that we want our kids to be in that lifestyle. I talk to active people. I talk to active big homies from both sides. They don't want that stuff for their kids. No person of rational thought wants to be a bad influence on their kids, wants their kids to make the same mistake as them. You know what I mean? It's not in human nature, man. And what we always talk about, as far as like crimes against nature, crimes against humanity, you think of that when a mother, takes her own kids out the game. It's just not biologically, it's just not instinct, it's none of those things, man. So when things of that nature happen, and just like doing weird stuff to people, that haven't reached the age of 18 yet, and especially 20 and 17A, man, everybody's doing it. I get it. You know what I mean? But man, when you're down in them single digits and stuff like that, bro, and people find a way to try to rationalize their behavior, it's a crime against nature, man. You're not, as a human being, there's no reason as an adult male you're supposed to be attracted to anyone that can't be potentially uh like to breed, bro. Our instincts, you know what I mean? Our instincts are to take care of them people, make sure they're safe, make sure they're housed, make sure they're warm, make sure they're fed. You know what I'm saying? And it goes against nature, man. And whoever Whoever let this 13-year-old drive, I'm not saying it's something that outrageous, but dude, come on, man. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, man, when I was a young kid, my grandpa would mob, you know what I mean? And he'd let me sit on his lap and steer, but his hands were right there. You know what I mean? Totally 100% safe. Not just, hey, jump behind the wheel. I'm faded or I'm tired of driving. 13 years old. See, myself, I've probably driven at least a half a million miles, probably a million. You know what I mean? I haven't kept track, but I put hundreds of thousands of miles on multiple vehicles, right? So I have a lot of experience behind the wheel. I think in most situations, I can safely minimize any type of accident the best I can, unless it's some kind of freak stuff. A car falls off the overpass on top of me, or somebody just does something so outlandish that you can't even have time to anticipate, an out to that situation. The 13-year-old, even if you let him drive around the neighborhood, around the parking lot, on a deserted highway, people do that, and I get it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But dude, come on, man, you gotta do better. You gotta do better, man. And they're gonna go after, if somebody still survived. You know what I mean? I don't know all the details, man, but whoever let that kid drive, and I don't even know if the kid's alive, bro, to be totally honest with you. All I seen was a 13-year-old was driving, caused this accident, and there's probably no no way to justify that even taking place, man. I'm at a loss, man. That's why I'm at a loss for words. It's like, what makes you think, hey, we're gonna let, that's too young. That's too young. I don't care if that kid's drove around the neighborhood parking lot. There's things that happen. Tire blows out. They don't know what to do. They'll try to overcompensate and yank the wheel and not just let off the gas. You know what I mean? Not steer into it, not do, whatever needs to be done in any, situation. And somebody's going to be responsible, man. And a lot of people lost their lives for something that shouldn't happen. But anyway, the moral of this art of this episode is just be more responsible, man. Is it cool? You got a cool kid. He does good in school, responsible, mature. Do you want to let him drive before he's supposed to? I do. But if I do, it would be in a parking lot, man, at 10 o'clock at night. It would be on a country road where there's no other traffic. You know what I'm saying? People do it. You gotta teach your kids to drive. You don't necessarily want to send them to driving school where people are just going in there to, make a living. You want to be responsible for the character your children develop. Like, hey, yeah, you got a car. It could go 130. Do you need to go 130? No. But if you do go 130, man, do it at 2 in the morning on an open 4 or 5 lane highway. You understand what I'm saying? Is it right? No. But Dan, you got to be realistic, man. Teach your kids the smart thing to do and lead by example, man. There's no reason a 13-year-old should have had so many people die because he was driving, man. And that's on whoever was in charge of that, you know. Anyway, I rambled, man, but you guys get the point. Have a good day. It's your boy Rojo. This is the Rojo Room, and I'll holler at you myself out.